The confusion is that we have to write substantive test in the exam on the scenario, but we don't know where we can write generic substantive test. Whether we have to follow what are the indicators in the question that guide us that what should be the focus of substantive tests. So let us talk about it. So the first of all, the first indication, that is, you will get that indication from the requirement, the question requirement. That the requirement tells you you need to write substantive test regarding valuation and existence assertion. So past paper question it is, Hawthorne Company. So it is extract of that. So you have to write 5 substantive tests on the valuation and existence assertion. There is no other information available in the scenario, much information on which you cannot write any procedure on that scenario information. So it means 5 procedures, 2 or 3 on it and the remaining on it. So 5 total procedures, substantive test. Now comes to the, yes, that the first thing we talked, that the question requirement is guiding you. Question requirement. Then come to that here the requirement is telling you that you have to write procedure on research and development expenditure. But there is no specific information in the scenario that which aspect. So they have given you that here is the 1.9 million. Yes, there are different stages of development. And yes, they are amortized on straight line basis, right? Over 3 years. And it is the management amortization policy. So these are different specific scenario-based information which should be addressed by substantive tests. You need to perform substantive tests to verify 1.9 million breakup, that whether it should not include any research cost. And the stages of development, you need to confirm whether the technical feasibility of the product, whether the commercial feasibility of the product, you have to verify these things through substantive tests. Then you need to verify that this straight line method of amortization over 3 years life is accurate, assumptions are correct. And then of course you have to recalculate it to verify whether this amortization charge is correct or not. So the 5 marks you can easily gain, but you see here, scenario is telling you all that specific information on which procedures need to be written on research and development cost. Here, you cannot write generic procedures here. You have to modify them as per this scenario to get full marks. Next, the third case, the blend of the both, that the information is present in both requirement of the question and scenario as well. For example, he said that write procedures on revaluation of property, plant, and equipment. So revaluation is one indication. And then they have given you some specific information as well, that they have conducted a review of non-current assets and revalued. So this is specific information, valuer, expert as well. So you can write procedure on 2 aspects, on the revaluation methods, revaluation assumption, and IAS 16, that whether all the assets of same class have been revalued or not. And one scenario information which is valuer, competence of valuer, independence of valuer, review of the work done by the valuer. Okay, so you can write substantive test on that as well. Okay, you should write rather over here, because scenario is also giving you some specific information. So information specific present here in the requirement as well. So in the both aspects, some generic procedure on revaluation you can write here on the revaluation of non-current assets, but you have some specific information from scenario as well. So once again, scenario and requirements both here are guiding you that what can be the focus of substantive tests, and you cannot go beyond the scope of these both over here. Next, Another example of the same. So they have given you requirement. These are all past paper questions. Okay. Valuation of inventory. So valuation assertion. So scenario is telling you that the company has work in progress, finished goods at the year end. Different stages of completion are there. So it means you can write substantive test on valuation assertion as per requirement. But there is specific information of this damaged inventory available. So you have to write some substantive test on this specific component inventory, which is going to be, which is, they said that defective. So defective inventory. So 6 marks to 3 procedures and 3 procedures on the both. 3 generic you can write on the valuation and 3 but valuation assertion. Still, you cannot write procedure on existence over here. You cannot write procedure on anything else over here. Okay, on the valuation assertion, generic procedure, and 3 procedures on this specific defective inventory. Next. Now the student asks question, in which circumstances we have open space that we can write any substantive test? Such question, chances of such question are minimum in your exam. Remote. But sometime examiner asks one part of one question, 5-6 marks, maybe 4 marks like that on this area. And remember, you can write only generic substantive test on any issue without getting confined to any assertion or scenario information. Only when scenario has generic information or no information about the issue, about the matter. And requirement is not specifying the direction of audit procedure. For example, in the past paper, this one, March, June 2021, Castle Courier, a 6-mark question was that the right substantive procedure on the payroll expenses. So this scenario had no information. So on the payroll expense in the financial statement, you have to write any 6 substantive tests. You have open space for that. So in this case, you can write generic substantive tests. I hope so it is clear to you people. Once again, a quick recap. 1, question requirement giving you clear idea. Okay. So what to be focus of the audit procedures. Second, scenario information is giving you idea. Third, information is present in both scenario and requirement. And the last, when you can write generic procedure, when information, no specification have done by examiner in the scenario or the requirement, then you can write generic procedures. I hope on the substantive test, this point is clear. You can ask your question in the comment section. I will respond you your questions after a while with a new video. Thank you.